Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Glowing. I'm so happy that you're here, and I am so excited because I have so many incredible guests on the schedule to come onto my show, and I cannot wait to interview them, and I cannot wait for you to hear these incredible people and what they have to say, and you're gonna love it. So please follow along and stay tuned for that. I am so excited. And today I have a really special episode for you because I am so cozy. It's the morning. I just woke up, so my mind is fresh. I wrote down my dreams and I'm ready to sit down and just channel exactly what needs to come through on this beautiful, beautiful morning. Today, I want to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is joy. I heard this quote recently from a sweet, sweet friend that she saw it on Instagram, but it's special to me that it came from my friend, okay? She said that joy is the matriarch of emotions. And if you want to meet her, you have to meet all of her children first. And when I heard that, it really shifted something in me. And I'll explain why in a minute, but really shifted something in me. It helped me see that joy actually is a really, really powerful emotion and one that we can't necessarily talk about or experience without learning how to feel all the rest of our feelings first. And in a culture that centers cognitive ability and doesn't necessarily we don't necessarily learn how to feel feelings, it's actually an important conversation to have. I'm somebody like many of you are who is very sensitive and emotional and in touch with the energetic side. So this is something, feeling emotions and processing in that way has been natural to me. And if you are like me, you probably also experienced some confusion as a child about why it's not normal for that to occur, and just some of the reactions that you get when you are a sensitive child is confusing because, like I said earlier, and like it's true, our culture doesn't really know how to handle that level of sensitivity and just emotions in general. I mean, you can see that everywhere we look. People channeling their emotions and anxiety and frustration into things that aren't actually helpful for anybody, for the person who's feeling it or for other people around them. And this is how we end up with epidemics like, lots of people with anxiety, depression, addiction, people just really not knowing what to do with the heaviness and with the intense, uncomfortable emotions of despair and hopelessness and anxiety. And so I want to talk about all of that because, like I said earlier, joy, if that's the goal, right? If that's the emotion that you want to feel more of the time, we need to address those other feelings that are uncomfortable and maybe are more present and more alive in your life more of the time now. I don't like to polarize feelings or say that something is good, something is bad, or one is positive, one is negative, but I do understand that that's how it feels, right? Like hopelessness feels like a negative feeling, despair feels like a negative feeling, it feels bad, and you can identify that. Like it doesn't feel good. But when we talk about it, there are no good or bad feelings. Again, it just comes down to how it feels to you. And so there is a way that you can relate to your feelings in a positive way without feeling the whole overwhelming feeling of this sucks, this is bad. So I want to teach you a strategy for that that comes from somatic experiencing, and also just talk about joy and feelings. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of a story about me. So, if you know me or if you don't know me, you probably know that I'm somebody who is very joyful, smiley. My laugh is like a very identifiable trait about me. And I only say that because almost everyone I meet, if they hear me laugh, they comment on it. It is something that stands out about me. And when I was growing up, and even up until a few months ago, I downplayed my level of excitement and enthusiasm about life because I had this story in my mind that it was immature, that it made me shallow or like um yeah, immature, too much, too loud, that I was really just smiling and happy because I was wanting to seek attention. And none of that is true, especially not the immaturity piece. But I hid some of my expression of joy because I didn't want people to interpret me that way. And so I want to just say that for you, anything that you hide means that you have some shame around it, okay? And when you bring that shame to the light, when you talk about it or just identify it and recognize it for yourself, it automatically works to alleviate some of the shame. So for me, once I identify that, okay, I feel this way about myself, that sometimes I feel like people interpret me as immature or selfish because I'm easily excitable. And I like to laugh and giggle and I like to not take life so seriously, and I'm very connected to play and those like childlike things. That it doesn't mean that I'm immature. It just means that I have this core part of who I am that's very joyful. And once I identified that, there was just so much relief for me. Okay, so I just share that to talk a little bit about what joy really is. And if you are somebody who has any shame about any part of who you are, maybe you are also really sensitive, or maybe you're also, maybe you're, I don't know, introverted, or something that for you, you have this story about, oh, this is abnormal, or this makes me weird or immature, or whatever the story about it is for you. Just know that it's probably not true. It's probably just a story that you've been telling yourself based on experiences that you've had in the past, based on what other people have said to you. And when you are doing the work of creating an identity that actually fits for you, that actually feels good to you and feels true and is true, you don't need to hold on to those stories that other people have impressed upon you. Like, it actually doesn't work for me to believe that I am immature because I have an enthusiasm for life. It's much better for me if I walk around believing that my joy is a gift to myself and the world that I can offer to people when I connect with it fully. So, this is just an example of how you can shift from one version of the story that maybe you're currently telling yourself. Maybe it's even subconscious to you that you have this belief about yourself based on experiences and things that people have told you. You can shift that into something that actually works for you, something that actually makes more sense for you and your life and can actually contribute to you stepping into your power, which, by the way, when you step into your power, you give other people, unconsciously, give other people the permission to do the same. When you step into your power and become a role model for what it looks like to be empowered in a healthy way, it's an unlock for everybody around you. And everybody around you gets to experience the gifts that you naturally bring when you're not hiding yourself because you feel ashamed about something that actually you shouldn't feel shame about. Okay? That's my little piece about that. Now, I want to share with you the technique that I was talking about earlier. And this tool is, I'm going to speak generally about it because it's something that can be applied it's something that can be applied very generally to almost anything, any experience that you're having, any feeling that you're having. And this is something you can teach your kids. This is something that you can teach anybody at any age. And it's actually just, sorry, my cat is making noises. It's actually just the natural way that our nervous systems function and the natural way that our bodies know how to process emotions and process experiences. And when we put language to it and put a framework to what already happens naturally, you can then teach somebody who maybe has developed a different way of experiencing emotions, a different pattern that is like unhealthy. Like, say you're somebody who suppresses your emotions because you learned that it's actually not safe for me to talk about things, or it's not safe for me to actually feel what I'm feeling, and so I'm just going to suppress them and act like everything's fine because that means that I will be safe, that I'll be okay, that I won't have to feel the pain that I feel when I do talk about something and I don't get supported the way that I need to. So if you are somebody who suppresses, which I think this is really common in our culture, again, in America, and I know that I'm somebody who has worked with this too, then it's going to be an effort at first to learn a different way of relating to yourself and a different way of relating to your emotions. But I can promise you, I don't usually like to make promises, but with this one, it's like very certain for me that I can promise you that it's going to feel better. You're going to get more freedom, more emotional freedom, more flexibility, just more freedom in how you are, who you are. Okay, so like I said, at first it might feel a little more uncomfortable because it's an effort, it's something new, it's a new way of being that you're trying out. But over time, it becomes habitual, it becomes a pattern, it becomes natural, and this is actually the natural way that our bodies and your body wants to process emotions. So when you are feeling something uncomfortable that you don't want to be feeling, something that signals to your system that there's something going on, that you're unsafe. Basically, you can think of your nervous system in your brain as constantly scanning for threats in your environment, right? So we're animals first, and we have these intelligent systems in us that are constantly scanning for threats in the environment. So when you feel, I'm laughing because I just thought of a way to explain this. So we're constantly scanning for threats, and we luckily have these incredible big brains that can think of so many different scenarios and all kinds of crazy things that can induce your body to feel something like anxiety. So, even if nothing is going on around you, you're sitting in a room, you're safe, you're at home, your brain can produce a scenario, a what if, that can actually make you feel like you're not safe, make your nervous system feel and basically trick you into thinking that something is wrong, that you should be scared, that you do need to react in fight or flight or flee. Wait, fight or flight or freeze or fawn. So you know that your brain works that way. You know that your brain has a lot of power over your emotional state, over your physical state, because you can use your brain to trick yourself into feeling anxious. You can also use your brain to trick yourself into feeling safe, into feeling joy, into feeling whatever you want to feel. And my goal with sharing this is not to tell you to trick yourself into feeling joy if really there's something that you need to address emotionally. But I do want you to recognize that you have more power over your emotions and over your physiology than you may be letting yourself use right now. So, what would it be like if the next time you find yourself in a what if spiral or anxious, you use that same power of thought that right now is being used unconsciously by you to consciously create the feeling that you want to feel by thinking a thought that's going to create that feeling. Now, sometimes talking about this can sound a little bit delusional or a little bit too hypothetical. So I want you to actually try it. And I wish that I had you here with me actually so that we could like work this out and figure out how you can apply this to your life. I'll give you an example from my life, okay? My cats are a very big part of my life. They're like my children. I love them so much. One of my cats, his name is Mr. Meow, and he is named that because he is very much a meower. He has this loud meow that's like, "Meow." And when he meows, it it used to really stress me out and it used to really bother me. And to be honest with you, I don't really want to hear wow all the time. And I know that he's probably just hungry and waiting for his breakfast to dispense, right? That's what's really happening. But as a human, it like triggers me. It triggers my body sometimes to feel, and when I say trigger, I mean activate. It activates my nervous system response to be on edge. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What does he need? Can you shut up so I can go back to sleep? All of those kinds of thoughts. So, what I did, what I taught myself to do in those moments when I am woken up in the middle of the night or early in the morning, earlier than I want to be woken up, and nobody likes to be woken up. I like to awaken naturally with the light of the sun, not with a yowl from my cat from downstairs. So, God bless him. And bless all of the cat parents out there who know what I'm talking about. And all of the real parents out there who have it the same, but it's like on a whole other level of being woken up in the night by your baby or your kid. So, what I learned to do in these moments so that I can regulate or calm down and just go back to sleep, or calm down and just not have a bad attitude towards my cat who I actually love, but who just annoyed me by waking me up. I use the power of my breath and my mind to relax myself. So, this is how it works. My nervous system gets a stimulus. The stimulus is Mr. Meow meowing. It activates something in my body that is, oh my gosh, there's something wrong. I need to wake up and I need to be on alert. Okay. And emotionally, and that's what's happening physically. And then emotionally, I feel annoyed, and physically, I feel uncomfortable. My heart is racing. I feel like just ready, like the adrenaline is in my body already. Like I'm ready to go. In my mind, I'm having thoughts like, oh, I'm not ready to wake up yet. I want to go back to sleep. Oh my God, can you stop meowing? Right? Those are my thoughts. So I work on those three levels: physical, emotional, and mental, to change the experience that I'm having of that moment. And it takes a little bit of time, but over time, it gets a lot faster and easier. So if I am working on the mental, I change the story from, oh, I'm not ready to get up yet. Can you stop meowing? To Mr. Meow is a cat. This is what he does. He's hungry or he's bored, and I love him and I chose this for my life. So this is what sometimes happens. I get woken up in the morning. So I shift out of this story where I'm a victim and into a story where I have taken responsibility. I chose this life for me, and this is part of what it means. So that's one of the arenas. We work on the mental. Then we work on the physical, because the physical and the mental will naturally influence the emotional, okay? So physically, I slow down my breath. I just am deeply breathing in those moments because for me, deep breath really helps to bring my heart rate down. It helps to bring my mind to a slower pace. It just calms my pace in general. And doing the combination of changing my thoughts about the situation into thoughts that are more empowering, into thoughts that neutralize my emotions about it, and doing the breath work and changing my physical state. Sometimes I'll also just get out of bed because then I'm awake, and instead of lying there with all this energy running through me, I get up out of bed to move the energy. And then sometimes I'll, in my mind, thank Mr. Meow for waking me up so early, because now I have so much time to do things like record a podcast episode. Things that I wouldn't have done if I wasn't up at 5 a.m. So with that example, you can see how I used those different tools to work with that experience I was having and bring myself to a state that actually is going to be helpful for me to be in. And so my hope for you is that you can apply this to your life. And so right now, I want you to think of a situation in your life where you experience either stress or anxiety or hopelessness or fear, doubt, sadness, whatever that emotion is that you experience. Just bring that situation to mind. And notice for yourself what happens physically for you. Do you start to feel warm? Do you start to feel uncomfortable? Where is that discomfort? Does your chest tighten? Does your throat start to close? Does your heart beat faster? Notice what happens in your body. Notice what you notice. And then also notice what goes on in your mind. What happens in your thoughts? Do you hear an inner critic voice? Do you hear the voice of somebody else? Do you hear a story that you've been telling yourself about the situation? And just recognize that too. And then again, also see if there's an emotion there that you can identify. And you can pause this and take your time if you want to really feel into it. And now see if there's basically an opposite force to both the mental story and the physical story that's happening. So if your heart is racing, you want to start taking some deep breaths to slow your heart rate down, to slow it down. If your story is that everything sucks and we're all gonna die and I hate it here, just try flipping the story completely. And even if it seems unbelievable to you at first, just stick with it for a little bit. And you basically want to pair this experience of regulating your nervous system by using breath, by using other tools, like maybe you just look around your room and you find something else to focus on. Like in my room, I have this beautiful Monstera plant, and I love looking at this plant. And if you change your focus, even if it feels counterproductive in that moment, because I know, especially with anxiety, it's an emotion that really feels like, okay, you need to put all your attention into this, and if you don't, then you're not being productive or you're not right. But see what happens when you literally just shift your focus to something else. And that something else could be, like I said earlier, your breath, or something that you're looking at in your room, or anything. All right? Be creative. And even if you don't feel that complete transformation of, oh my gosh, I was just feeling really anxious and now I feel completely better and my anxiety is cured. Even if you don't feel a complete shift, notice the little shifts that you do feel. So, my darling, that is the technique. And you might think, well, that's pretty obvious. If I'm feeling uncomfortable, focus on something else. I do that all the time already when I'm uncomfortable and then I go and scroll on TikTok or whatever. No, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not talking about distracting yourself. I'm not talking about suppressing. I'm talking about really checking in and actually staying with your experience. And when you do this, you actually train your nervous system to be able to handle those more intense emotions without checking out and doing distractions. And when you do something like this, at first it might start to feel actually more intense than you ever want it to feel, or more intense than it felt before. But also know that that's a sign that you're actually connecting to your experience. And of course, listen to your body and listen to yourself. Don't listen to me if what I'm saying is going to lead you to a place of feeling worse and being worse off, okay? Honeys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you made it this far, leave me a comment about what your Mr. Meow situation was, if you want. Also, I want to hear from you. What's one thing that you're going to do this week that's going to bring you joy and boost your self-love, boost your self-care, okay? Leave that in the comments. And also, I want to invite you, if you haven't already been invited, to my live event on Friday the 13th. If you're superstitious, come and tell us why you're superstitious. Friday the 13th, it's going to be 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a call where I'm going to share some of what I'm working on right now and this new program called Start to Finish. And we're going to talk about a lot of what we talked about today, some of the similar ideas. So if you have a situation that you want to bring with you and get some guidance and support of like, okay, how do I change this belief, or how do I change the story I'm telling myself, or just like feel better about the situation, bring that. Also bring anything that's your like passion project right now. Okay? I want to hear that too. And so we're just going to get into it. Come if you're curious. I'm sending you off with so much love and so much joy. Until next time, be well.